Hey, how's it going? I have a few cards, and of course I have some words. So, I wrote a piece a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna link it, but it talks about something that I've talked about before. I guess I didn't realize how much I would grow to realize that what I was talking about would be something that is even more important now than I thought it was way back when I first started saying it, which was, I don't know, a couple of years now. and all it is that I know I've written about it many times and probably linked those pieces to videos. But what it is that you might say that the United States is kind of in a world of problems with a lot of its citizens' actions screwing up the whole globe in some cases. In others, it's just localized kind of mal-interaction. And the suggestion that I have made, it's like it gets so much scorn immediately and is just like, that's stupid. It is like the general tone of the reactions, if not the literal words. But what it is, just to break it down real simple, is the people of this world that are not of the mind where they would be perfectly fine to treat the people around them like cordwood and other useful objects, I suppose you could say, to achieve, gain, or get to wherever they felt like they needed to be at any cost. Like, they don't care about other people. They just want to do what they want to do. Other people are completely expendable, or they're useful till they're not. Like, it is a really, I feel like, unaccredited, but I feel like it's really psychotic to just be so inhumane to the degree where, like, you're kind of coming off as not very human. And I know that that's kind of what inhumane means, but this, I feel like, is an extreme version. And unfortunately, it's like a lot of the people that are sort of at the top of the rest of us, the leaders, the presidents, the prime ministers, or whatever, or I don't know if a lot, that's a very imprecise use of the term, sorry. There are several leaders of countries that I feel like, particularly in reaction and sort of retaliation against the United States, which in a lot of ways I agree with them. They got a point. Like, the empire colonizers, enslavers, all of that type of thing. Almost every country in the world has had that role. And it's cruel, and it's like just putting people through the chipper, and don't even get me started on wars and the reason why they start and why and how it's not what they tell you it is. They're not even trying now, and by they I mean the United States government. That's who I'm referring to in particular at this moment. But I think there's something going on with our leaders and the leaders of other countries. Like, oh my God, that's right, I forgot. Our vice president is over in a country that I don't think they were our They might have been one of those allies that you kind of don't turn your back on, a frenemy type situation. But he's over in Hungary where that guy's got a terrible, the leader there, I'm not even going to say his name, has a terrible record with the way he treats the public. And they're just there for him to milk and bilk, basically, and use and abuse. And so I feel like these leaders of a certain type that I was just describing, like the one of my country, are trying to create like a Legion of Doom. They're just like cartoon evil. And I'm not laughing to make light of it, but it is kind of funny because they are that bad at it, I guess, or that like opaque, or not opaque, transparent. Like they're just, but it's not just our guys. They are working in concert to do things to the people of the whole world. Like they just want to make people yet another resource to use up, and damage the whole population and the world as it goes on, like my country recently has, I don't know that we have an ally anymore the way we used to. I think we've burned so many bridges that it'll probably take generations to regain the trust that we once had. But the fact that it's been flagging for half of my life, that trust, kind of, well, not kind of, I think it got us where we are right now, which is, for a lot of us, a scary and uncomfortable place. This country is not recognizable to the one it was 5 years ago even, so that's been hard on us, like not just us, not just we in the U.S., but like everywhere that they have a leader that's like this, and it's just dazzling and stunning how brazen it is happening now. How it's happening now. Like, no one's trying too hard to disguise what they're doing. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, they're not, to me, trying too hard to disguise what they're doing. And I don't think they care if they're seen doing it anymore. That is an attitude I see more and more, just glimpses, because I'm not like a total like historian and student of what other countries are doing. But I am aware of some history, so it just, I can see how it was sort of heading this way. And there are a lot of reasons and forces that have like sort of padded the way forward, or gone forward like advanced scouts and found the easy roads and like eliminated a lot of obstacles in a way so that the bigger machine can come along behind it and just start, I don't know, I'm seeing like a big bulldozer / chipper machine in my mind, just grinding through a forest indiscriminately, just destroying the trees and whatever's there, and I feel like we, the people of everywhere, are the forest. And so there's too many like forces combined, and also like history to include, to try and like make sense of that. Like, it's not like I can just go, boop, it's encapsulated easily. Like, that's just not gonna happen. Sorry. You would have to do your research if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to be like smug or whatever. I'm just saying I'll never get through this if I try to describe every single aspect of it. But But I am concerned about the Legion of Doom thing, because Legion of Dumb, kind of, because so many things that are done here as experiments, and so many excuses for like ways that waters and lands and food and all kinds of products that we use on or in our bodies like they got rid of regulation, so who knows what's safe anymore, and the plastics thing, and the petroleum products, period. Like, I don't see the logic in continuing to use those products when they can still make profits using alternative energy, switching to alternative energy sources. Like, leave the grease in the ground. Maybe the ground needs it. Do other things. My God, get a fresh outlook on your business. Anything. Just the focus on we have to only use fossil fuels is like suicidal. It's dumb, because I don't care how rich you are, and I don't care how fancy and special your food is. At least here in the United States, and I suspect everywhere else, the result of using plastics for everything, for instance, is not just isolated to the United States or poor Canada and Mexico, who are stuck to us. Every place in the world uses plastics. Medical equipment like tubing is made of plastic. And the problem with those things, like a 2-liter bottle of whatever beverage or carton of milk that is plastic, you're ingesting you're ingesting particles. So I don't know how we end up with little beads if it just is attracted to itself once it's in your tissue, in your bloodstream, and it's everywhere. If it's in fish, if it can be found in, I don't know if they found it in plants yet. I don't even know, but I know they found it in people's brains, and I'm sure a whole bunch of other places. It's just in us now. And I don't know how the elite people get away from that. Like, I don't think it's possible. And, like I said, I don't think it's isolated to the United States. I think that other places have better regulations for a lot of things, like food safety, for one thing, a very important thing. And so there's a lot of stuff that they do to food here, and I've been talking about it. It's getting pretty widespread attention now, how food is not water or saliva soluble in a lot of cases where maybe it once was. Or here's something that makes me very sad, but I did see it coming. So I have been enjoying chocolate because I knew the chocolate growth industry is not huge, and the main place where it happens has had like blight problems, and I don't know if drought as well, but the output has been greatly reduced. And it was terribly unfair to the farmers. And then once the crops were sold, the chocolate makers are making serious bank, and the farmers are struggling to have just the most basic like machinery to help them farm this stuff, and that there's such a great demand for. So, I mean, can you picture the unevenness of that arrangement? Like, it was more important to make a profit, and they could have like paid the farmers a lot more than they are getting paid. I mean, it is just ridiculous, but it's that mindset. So my thing is, we should do something that I don't know has been able to have been done sustainably for a very, very long time. And I think once it was, the same forces that want to create the Legion of Doom Not necessarily the same people, but, you know, more just like them came after to carry on the same type of corruption. So when it was going very well for us and things were beautiful and the world was a beautiful place and people had a better relationship with the planet and nature, and I'm so glad it's going to be coming out. So, like, hopefully we can return to it, but that was a time when these Legion of Doom types did things like mud floods and resets, and it's coming out. If you're not familiar with things like Tartaria or mud floods, you can certainly search those two words, but if you're looking at this, it feels like it's likely you're already aware of those things. So here's my thing for the present is, and people are just like, that'll never work, that's a stupid idea, or you're stupid. We could just start being nicer to each other, because we're starting to understand the power of more of us little people versus the vastly smaller number of super wealthy people. We have certain powers, but the thing is I can really only specialize on here in the United States, but understandably, people don't want to be uncomfortable. People don't want to make uncomfortable changes. People don't want to have to suffer. I think for the most part in this country, the suffering has been mental, but for the people that were already in the margins, like people that are homeless or people that are on the verge, people with families and kids, like all kinds of responsibilities that they can no longer meet, that was already, I think, breaking us as a society. Like, however it, manifested in your life, it's not getting, it's going to get worse, like, right now for everyone. And we should just start being nicer to each other. That alone is going to create such a powerful dynamic to change the way things are, amongst all the other efforts in play. And it's really simple. It's free, but it is so hard. It is so hard for us to be forgiving of each other. It is so hard to just be understanding and to sort of wear the other person's shoes, And, like, we don't want to do that. We want, like, someone else to read all of the Epstein files and tell us what's in them. We don't want to, like, lift a finger or lift enough fingers to, like, move something. And I get it. Like, I don't want to do stuff. But I think if we don't, like, this is how we ended up where we are. But we've tried fighting fire with fire. We've tried responding in kind and getting angry back and getting angry at all. It's like, how about we try something that we haven't tried and had it fail over and over and over again, just sort of compounding the mental injury. Like, why are we punching ourselves? Why are we helping the Legion of Doom? How about we stop doing that? Okay, so that is my little speech. So I have a declarations of Mary Magdalene card, and oh yes, please take a look at my signs just for the disclaimer effect, if you wouldn't mind. Oh, is that better? I need a light up there, I guess. Oh well, I don't think I have to worry about it for too long. I think I'm just gonna, like, rearrange stuff or something. It's a plan. We'll see if it gets anywhere near execution. So anyway, I have a Declarations of Mary Magdalene card, and I swear this card was in the last poll, in the last video I made, but here goes. For thou that fear Mary Magdalene the Christ, fear the true powers of the divine feminine and thy sacred heart. So, this kind of goes back to what I was saying about how we've done everything, like the fighting fire with fire, and it really hasn't moved the situation in the way that, I don't know, I guess we thought it would, but I don't know why we thought that, because we have history, and it hasn't worked. Hello? It doesn't even have to be our history. So, it would just be like, just radically different to stop being jerks to each other or a-holes to each other. You can pick the word all you want. You know what I'm saying, but just so you understand. Okay, so what I feel like this is saying, though, is people that are afraid of that fear Mary Magdalene the Christ, I don't know how many people even are aware of that title being one of hers, because she's a woman. I think even, well, I know, actually, well, I don't know, I wasn't there, but from what was said, what was written down that you can still access today, people were not happy that she was in the man cave. You know, no, it was like a no girls allowed, and Christ was enamored with her, and in the way that he appreciated every aspect of her, including her ability to understand what he was preaching, where most of those dudes weren't getting it. Just like Judas, you know, Christ trusted, or Yeshua trusted Judas to be his betrayer, because Judas understood the preachings of Christ, which were, in that case, he asked him to be the betrayer and take everything that went along with it, because it was a vital role in illustrating the way that Christ wanted to present the rebirth of himself and the renewal of himself. So it was like an important thing that he was asking him to do, and Judas did understand, like, sometimes somebody has to play the role of the bad guy to, like, keep the whole story rolling. And it was not necessarily that he was bad. It was like something he did out of love, in a way. And so Mary also had the same kind of understanding. That's why she was trusted to go out and also preach the gospel. Is that something I learned from banned texts that have gotten out? I don't remember. I don't remember learning that in Catholic school. Because, you know, because she's a woman thing. Like, I feel like then and now in the church hierarchy, a woman preaching the gospel and being equal with the Christ, no es bueno. Like, I don't think it would have been, like, in the teachings that we were receiving as little children being programmed. Anyway, so then he talks about fearing the true powers of the divine feminine in thy sacred heart. The divine feminine is, I mean, you could put it as a title, or you could call someone that. like you could make it an individual, but it also refers like an individual in as far as state of being of the self. But there's two sides to that, and the other side is the divine feminine. And so I think particularly with men, but also with people with masculine attributes, because of the whole boys only club, they don't want to let in their inner female, their divine feminine. And that's part of your spirit. It could also be a person you're referring to, but it is an aspect that everyone has regardless of gender. That's just the way we're built. But you can tune that stuff out if you don't want to experience it. And I think a lot of women would agree that, man, turn on that divine feminine, because, you know, you're unhappy, you're making everybody else unhappy. Look at the world right now. And so it says that thou that fear Mary Magdalene the Christ, fear the true powers of the divine feminine and thy sacred heart. So again, this divine feminine is an inner thing. It's part of your spirit, and apparently it lives in the sacred heart. Probably having the divine and masculine feminine aspects reside there are what make it sacred. I'm just freeballing, I don't know that for a fact. Anyway, I have a few cards from the Starseed Oracle deck. Let me grab the booklet. Ouchies! Okay, so the first one is Jump In. Wow. So, okay. This ad, oh my god. Yeah, bite your tongue. This card, it looks like, oh yeah, that's, okay, those, okay, so you can see in the center of the picture, sort of a whitish situation going on. Where's my indicator? Oh my god, get out of here before I knock you over. Okay, so this bit is splashing, like it says jump in. And when I was finally able to focus on it properly, it's feet splashing. That's what the white is. It's froth, like water froth. But then if you pull back, you see whatever water body they're diving into looks like an eye. Something has its eye on you. Something is observing you. Metaphorical? Well, I mean, obviously on here, but in life, I don't know about that. And I was also thinking that it looks like one of those, like a quarry kind of, or like if a sinkhole. I don't know why I'm thinking sinkhole, but like if a fink. Thanks for opening up a hole under me, you fink. A sinkhole. I don't know why I'm thinking of one filled up with water, but I would assume it happens. And if it happened somewhere like in nature where there wasn't a bunch of buildings with rebar to stick out and wound you, it would be a perfectly fine place to dive into, to jump into. I don't know why I said that. And I just realized it says jump in, and this person, there's their feet. Your feet go first when you jump, so they dove in. There's probably something more I'm supposed to get out of that. Let's consult the manual and see what it says about jump/dive in. Okay. Alright. Got the page. Real cute. Real cute, Marie. Sorry, I guess I'm having a brain fart. Okay, jump in, and the subtitles are, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Let's change our, gosh, I don't really care for this phrase, our manner of attack. I don't want it to be like angry and aggressive like that, but manner, let's change it up with the manner that we are approaching the situation. Okay, Andromeda is a spiral galaxy, the closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It's believed that Andromedan starseeds are a group of beings who love their freedom. Very adaptable, they have a strong willingness and ability to change and go with the flow, to find calm in the chaos, to swim in the tides. This card is here to encourage you to do the same. Perhaps if you have a significant goal or opportunity ahead of you, if so, you're being guided to jump in. Kind of how you have to do it sometimes. Don't, hesitating and waiting around, you can miss the moment. Don't wait for permission. Don't stall until you feel ready. Take a deep breath, a good old run up, and jump right in. Or dive, apparently. It's so funny that they did that. Life bends for the courageous, and courageous is what you're being called to be. You're already facing the right direction. The only thing left to do is leap. You'll figure out the details as you go along. Things may not always be smooth sailing. Life on Earth rarely is. However, it's the rougher seas that teach us how to sail with glory, and once you know that, you can navigate any sea, ocean, or storm. The Andromedans want you to fall in love with surfing the waves of life, to seek more adventures, to embrace your own adaptability and find a way to be the calm in the chaos. You didn't come to Earth to be passive. You came to Earth to truly live. Now, take a good run up and leap. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you be more adventurous? How are you being called to jump right on in and leap? So, I'm just going to take this to the personal. And, I guess it just always has been my campaign to, I really identified with Rodney King's words when he said, can't we all get along? Because we're helping the forces against us by being against each other. We're doing their work. It's like I've talked about people sort of brainwashing themselves because of our programming, and I feel like we are in this place where we really want things to change, and we're unhappy about things, and life is hard, and things are expensive, and that makes life hard, and it turns into a loop, and we get angry and frustrated, understandably, but there has to be more than that. And again, doing the same thing we've always done, what's changed is not gotten better, and so we have to be the catalyst, and we could be really radical and just making a point to stop sabotaging each other and getting along, it will create a collective energy that'll really annoy anyone trying to snack on our energy. Like, it'll just be gross because it'll be good and positive, and I feel like that will enact a latent power in the individual when we realize, oh my God, this is so much easier to do, and look what we can gain from it. So, I'll get down off my soapbox. Okay, so the next card is the Cosmic Heart. There is an angel there, and I mean, I don't know, did she just float through that sort of opening there, that portal? She has wings, and she's also wearing the communion veil. Like, I don't remember if that's what I had when I was a kid, but many of the little girls that I had my communion with at the Catholic school wore the little veil. Like, I don't know, maybe Italian old ladies still wear a veil to go to church. I haven't been in a church in a while, so couldn't tell you. So, okay, the Cosmic Heart. Hearts. That's the second time hearts have come up in this reading. Although, it kind of is about heart anyway, because I can't do it. Hearts. Hearts. If we can't say that we love each other, if we can't do that, can we at least be nice to each other? It may be, it's a progression. And also, it would be making a pretty, I guess, radical change individually to decide to start being nice to each other. Like, you kind of have to reset your whole operating system from defensive aggressive to passive and pleasant. Okay, I didn't go to the page yet. Okay, Cosmic Heart, Cosmic Heart, here we go. Where the heck is it? Sometimes they don't include the when you're looking in the index. That's not it. There it is. 48. Too far. Dang it, actually I went right to it, but I think I need to clean my glasses. Alright, here we go. The Cosmic Heart, and the subtitles are Devotion, Potency, Make Your Life a Moving Prayer. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within to the intelligence of your own heart. To bow with deep reverence to your inner temple and not fear it. To live your life in devotion to this place. I would assume that that's like your physical place, your metaphorical place, your mental place, your emotional place, those kind of places. I think it's safe to assume that. To refocus your attention deep within to the intelligence of your own heart. To bow with deep reverence to your inner temple. To live your life in devotion to this place. to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. I mean, like I was saying, the fighting fire with fire, it is not doing anything but exhausting us. So yeah, weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. Lost in the programming? If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of your heart. You know, to temper aggression, you might want to gently begin to add a little feminine softness, both of which you have access to in your heart if you care to access them. If you can shed programming and allow yourself to divulge in what is, it's you, it's there for your purposes, but you know, with all things, balance is crucial. To get back to the essence of what you're about, after you get back to the very center of your heart, to devote your life to what you care most about, to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. Okay. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Well, we're sort of midway between sowing and harvesting environmentally, but spring, Easter, it's all about renewal and regrowth. And so you can't help, or I can't help feel affected by it, you know. Yeah, you definitely feel spring happening. I think it's undeniable. Okay. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters, with the sweet, sweet waters of your own soul. To lose yourself, you have access to those waters, that's what I was saying. To lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart. Don't fear that. Once you, ouch! Once you take the leap, well, for one thing, you know, once your feet leave the ground, it's all over. You have moved to a new dang it, transgression. No, that's not what I want to say. Transit? You have moved into another zone. Okay, where was I? To lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart. To live your life according to what makes you come alive, rather than what everyone else thinks. So yeah, that's the other thing, independence. I feel like that comes when you're able to break free of programming, especially programming that makes you think you're not right unless you're doing what everybody else is doing. You know, if you're not like conforming, then you're wrong in ways, like all of the ways. And that's just not right. Independence and individualism is threatening to especially forces that would just like you to be fearful, to feel like staying in line and following orders and keeping your head down and not having objections. I think we're past that. So, yeah, I guess independence and finding fortitude within yourself, like breaking through that barrier of your heart that keeps you from whatever you're fearing is going to happen when you come face to face with it. It's you. It's just you. Don't be so afraid of you. Silly, it's you. What are you going to do to you? I mean, you can certainly damage you. You can hurt you. I've done it. I mean, it was a struggle in some cases to stop doing it. I'm talking drugs. But, you know, I got there because ultimately not being on the drugs and not having the drug lifestyle is better. So that does not have me captured anymore, you know? It's like, it's much better to break free and find your independence. In my opinion, that's all I'm saying. To live your life according to what makes you come alive rather than what everyone else thinks. To make your life one big moving prayer. I don't know. I feel like I want to comment on that, but it's not in the realm of what I've been saying. So I guess I'm going to skip it. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you make your life a moving prayer? It's not for me to answer for you. It's for you to individually define yourself. Define yourself. You're an individual. So the last card is Messenger. Okay, so there's a lot of clouds on here, and I have pareidolia really bad. So, I mean, I don't think it's bad to have it, but I do experience it, and it makes it hard to focus on things individually. Okay, so I see what looks like you know what the Merkaba is represented by is a triangle with the one spire facing up, and then overlaid with another one with the single spire facing down. And so there seems to be a pair of these on either side of this I'm not sure. I'm having trouble trying to define things that are on here, but clearly there's a big giant bell right there. That's the most obvious thing. And then here are the Merkabas that I was talking about. So the bell appears to be, you can't see a face, okay? But I think it's like a spirit or an angel, if you want to go with the obvious. There's hands, arms. No, I thought these were wings at first, but I think more they're clouds because they're in the wrong place to be wings. And when I see the face, oh, maybe it's the back of their head. I don't know. No, that doesn't work because the arms are facing forward. So yeah, it's a bell, but you can't see its face. That's why I think it's spirits, because, you know, just like the Muslims, we don't have an appearance for spirit because spirit's supposed to be unknowable. So there you go. You got to give it, it's a metaphor, so you got to give it, like, not features, but a head at least. I don't know. Messenger, ringing the bell, why, that makes me think of Paul Revere, but I don't think Paul Revere will, oh my God, more lies. Paul Revere was Paula, but I don't think whoever you believe Paul or Paula was, I don't think they were riding through the countryside to give a message that we know was one if by land and two if by sea. That refers to lanterns in a window, okay? So that doesn't make a sound. It was supposed to be stealth. So again, I don't see Paul/Paula riding through the villages informing people. I know that they did. The British is coming. The British are coming. Oh my God. I guess they wouldn't have to be quiet, but I feel like they were trying to be so that they didn't alert the British that they knew they were coming. So a bell seems kind of out of place, but this is interesting because speaking of Tartaria, I have listened to, because I kept seeing it come up, was Tartaria disappeared, and I was saying that was a period where things were good and people were happy and healthy, because that's the way they wanted it to be. That was the whole point of why that was the loop, a much more positive loop. And so the bell is, for me, resonant of something. And speaking of resonance, look at the waves of I'm calling that sound, or vibration. And then right where, like, if it was gonna speak, if that bell were ahead and it were gonna speak, that's where the mouth would be. And so I feel like its message is something light-filled. Let's consult the manual and see what it has to say about messenger. I feel like that's kind of what everyone who does this kind of thing is a messenger, which has meaning for me because I was a foot and bicycle messenger. And it was a very, wow, it was like a part of my life that will always stay with me. The people and the period of time, and very significant in my life. But also, I liked feeling like important, bringing like the court filings or going to the court and filing the filings and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. I guess I've always liked that story of Paul Revere, too. So anyway, the subtitles on the card. Give you some more look at the card. I'm just noticing there's something happening here, but I did stare at it for a while, and I just can't resolve what the image is, but I don't know. It reminds me of buildings for some reason. Weird place to put them, at the foot of this figure with the bell head, bucket head. Okay, the subtitles are Serious Energy, Bringing Harmony and Balance. I was talking about balance a second ago. Oh. Usually when I think something synchronous has happened, like online, I will do a picture of one of those desk bells, but there. I don't have one of them. I have a tubular bell that needs one of these. That's what I was searching for. Anyway. This is so bad. I gotta do better with my eyes. You're part of the lineage of souls who have dedicated their lifetimes to the upliftment, yay, of the planet, to returning time and again to seed the light. The crystalline ones, the ones who are here to plant the sacredness of life back in, to honor both the sacred feminine and masculine. That just popped out. I did not choose those cards deliberately together. They just had to say similar things. Okay, get focused. The ones who are here to plant the sacredness of life back in, to honor both the sacred feminine and masculine, to usher deep reverence back in. Many ascended masters are thought to be connected to the energy of Sirius, often appearing as a shade of blue. They hold the frequency of pure love and are here to help the masculine and feminine exist in harmony. Well, we need that. We need that, because I don't think it's news to women, but it sure seems like there are a lot of men that hate women right now, and it's enough already. It's been centuries of this, like, enough for real. Okay, to ensure greater balance, to help us see that we're all connected and that the masculine and feminine energies exist within us all. Was I just... I love it when that happens. In fact, excuse me. You're being called to bring about this balance and harmony between the masculine and feminine, to be a guardian of harmony and balance on Earth. Think of the whales traveling around the globe, sharing love through their healing vibrational song. Their unique notes send balance and harmony to every corner of the planet. What was that? Excuse me. Mint. Mint tea with honey. Oh, that helps. Holy smokes. Okay. Now I can't see. Now I can't see worse. Okay, a rebalancing of the masculine and feminine is occurring worldwide. It's a resurgence of the sacred within us all, the sacred heart. A returning to the sacred union within. A rekindling of heaven and earth. You can begin to bring harmony and balance by creating it in your own life. The ripples will flow from there. You can honor and balance the sacred masculine and feminine energies within yourself and others. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to bring harmony to your life or the planet? How are you being called to honor the sacred masculine and feminine within you? Well, I think I started that off with my answer. I would like us to just, like, I feel like being nicer to each other, like making a deliberate effort to do that, because it's so much easier to just be angry, fly off the handle, say whatever comes to mind. You completely ignore your impulse control, like have no personal regulation. And where has it gotten us? It hasn't gotten us anywhere better. In fact, I think we're seeing the distillation of all of that right now, like even at the topper echelons of government. And like the elite and the rich people or wealthy, whatever, who are now, they don't care if you know that they've been behind this stuff forever. Like, we knew. Like, you weren't, like, hiding well, But They succeed when we are against each other and feeding a really ugly beast. And so we can halt that by just deciding not to do that and just like, hey, you know what? It's actually pretty easy to just be nice to each other too. Although that means you have to do some inner like self-repair with the DF and the DM probably. So because when you're stormy inside, you're stormy on the outside. You're aggressive, you're I don't know, jealous, possessive of what is not really yours to possess. Just like antisocial behavior and, you know, psychotic even, I guess. I don't know. I am guessing. Anyway, thank you and good night.